Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a report from Sculptor Diversified Real Estate Income Trust. Prepare for a real estate roller coaster because their NAV or net asset value is about to get a shakeup. Trust me, you'll want to see what's happening with their property values. If you're looking for clear insights on corporate financial reports, remember to subscribe, join our Discord channel, the link is in the description below. We can talk about this report in more detail. This report is called an 8K and companies use it to announce important events to their investors. It's like a corporate breaking news bulletin. In this case, Sculptor Diversified Real Estate Income Trust is letting everyone know about their updated net asset value, basically the estimated worth of their shares. This report is dated May 15, 2025, so it's pretty recent. It's talking about information as of April of the same year. The big news here is the net asset value or NAV per share. That's how much each share of their stock is supposedly worth. They've calculated it as of April 30, 2025. On May 15, 2025, they announced the NAV per share for each class of their common stock. The numbers are different for each class and the report lists them out. Let's run through a few of these. Class E shares are valued at $10.75 to $9 per share. Class F shares are a little lower at $10.6345 per share. And Class AA shares are at $10.444 per share. So how did they come up with these numbers? The report explains that they follow specific guidelines approved by their board of directors to calculate the NAV per share. This involves taking the total value of their assets and subtracting any liabilities or debts. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of what makes up their NAV. This is where we see what their assets and liabilities are. Here's a breakdown of what's making up their net asset value as of the end of April. First off, their investments in real estate, including an intangible asset called goodwill, totals $578.373 million. That's the big one and the core of their business. Goodwill can represent things like brand reputation. They also have an investment in a consolidated joint venture, which is an investment in a partnership they don't fully control, worth $2.31 million. Then there is the investment in real estate debt, which is $43.224 million. This includes loans that they have issued for real estate purposes. Of course, they have cash on hand, which is always important, totaling $35.362 million. This is the actual cash they have on hand, plus things that can easily be turned into cash. I've also got some restricted cash, meaning cash that's set aside for a specific purpose, worth $9, $11, $12 million. Now for the other side of the balance sheet, their debts, mortgages, credit facilities, and other financing obligations. After subtracting some offsetting amounts, come out to $261.29.5 million. That's a significant amount of debt. They also have accounts payable, which is money they owe to suppliers and other liabilities, totaling $12.50 million. Finally, there's a non-controlling interest in their consolidated subsidiaries. This is the portion of the company that they do not own, worth $27.86 million. After adding up all the assets and subtracting all the liabilities, the report arrives at a total net asset value of $378.2 million. To calculate the NAV per share, this number is divided by the total number of outstanding shares, which comes to 35,004,303. This table breaks down the N8E share class. It shows the total NAV for each class. Class E has a net asset value of $35.554 million. Class F has a net asset value of $208.128 of. All the classes add up to the total NAV we just discussed of $372 million. The next row breaks down the number of shares for each class. We saw that Class E has a NAV of $35.554 million and it has 33,551 in 13 shares. Class F has a MA of $28.112 million with 19,607 174 shares. The final row of the table shows the MF per share. Here we can see that Class E is $10.559 per share. The F per share of Class F is $10.6345, and the operating partnership units is $10.509 as per unit team. So what does all this mean? Well, it gives investors a snapshot of what the company thinks its shares are worth at a particular moment in time. It's important to remember that this is just an estimate. The actual value of the shares could be higher or lower, depending on market conditions and other factors. The details from this 8K filing give some insight into the calculations of the company's net asset value per share. The company's NAV is highly dependent on the value of their real estate investments. If their properties increase in value, then so will the gain. High mortgage and credit facility debts can expose the company to certain risks, such as interest rate hikes or difficulty in refinancing. This report gives key insight into the company's assets and liabilities, which is important for investors to be aware of. Alright, that's our breakdown of Sculptor Diversified Real Estate Income Trust's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. And do not forget to check out our Discord channel in the description. We have great discussions there. Thanks for watching. See you next time.